Well, I made this video once on YouTube and tried to upload it, and it didn't work. So let me try to do this again. Um, I'm making this video because I sold a health insurance plan to a customer today, and that customer told me she might be interested in learning more about being a health insurance agent herself. So let me go over what it takes to be an agent, why I became an agent, and if you're interested, you're welcome to drop a comment, and I'll try to answer your question. First of all, let me tell you why I decided to become an insurance agent, or in my case, a broker. I'm a truck driver. I've been driving truck for going on almost 10 years now, 9.5 years. If you've ever been on the road and seen where somebody goes to make an exit off the freeway and they decide to cut in front of you, it's kind of a pain in the butt, right? It's scary sometimes, depending how close they are. Now imagine that instead of you driving your little pickup, your little SUV, your little coupe, now imagine you're driving 80,000 pounds down the freeway. I can't stop like you can stop. I can't turn like you can turn. It is scary. In fact, it wasn't too long ago I had somebody intentionally do this. The guy shot in front of me, slammed on his brakes. I hit my brakes too. We did have an accident, and right now, I believe that he's being charged with assault. He got lucky. Number one, I wasn't loaded, and number two, he had already started acting very erratic while he was next to me, so I was already prepared for something. I didn't think this was it, but I was prepared for something. And like I said, he shot in front of me, slammed on the brakes. I was paying attention. What if this had happened and I wasn't paying attention? Maybe I was reaching over to adjust the radio. Maybe I was looking to make a lane change. He got lucky. I hit the brakes quickly. I slowed down. I went from about 60 miles an hour to about 30 miles an hour in a matter of a couple of seconds. But obviously, I did not stop, and he didn't stop either, at least not after I hit him. He was uninjured. I was uninjured. My truck wasn't damaged, but his car was. Anyways, I wasted 3 minutes telling that stupid story. But now you can see why I'm looking for something different. Anyways, I'm also about to turn 60 this year, be retiring in a couple of years. And I needed a way to make an income where I wasn't reliant on being in a truck. I didn't want to have to worry about going into a job and being there at a certain time, a certain schedule. I wanted to have my own thing, do my own thing. Started looking around, and I found initially I found out about online sales, which is where I was going, tech sales. And then once I started doing that, I started getting advertisements on LinkedIn for insurance online sales. I thought, wow, let's do that. That's something I can definitely do. I don't have to. They don't have to go through a lot of training. The training is very quick, depending on yourself, how much time you have. It took me about 2 months, but I've seen people go as little as a week and a half to 2 weeks through the training. And in fact, if I had used the final training that I did, I probably would have finished quite a bit faster. And I'll cover that in a second as well. Anyway, what's required to get a license is, number one, you have to get the training. Number two, you have to apply to take an exam. Assuming you pass the exam, you then have to apply to your home state for a license. Um, and in between there, you also have to pay for fingerprinting. And then, I think I said pass the test, and then you have to apply for your license in your home state. I think I said that already. And then once you have it in your home state, you can also get it in other states, which allows you to sell to customers all over. The more licenses you have in more states, the more potential clients you have. And the reason you want to do that is, let's say that I'm only going to sell to my neighbors, or I'm only going to sell in my town. Well, your friend that you sell your insurance to, or the guy that has the grocery store down the street that you sell insurance to, maybe he's got a cousin, or maybe he's got a mother, or maybe he's got a brother that lives in another state. Hey, I got this great person that helped me with my insurance. I'm really happy with them. You should call them up. And then you say, oh, I don't have a license in that state. So be prepared to get licenses in other states as well, so that you can expand your potential for earning an income. And in case I didn't say it, I wanted to be able to travel, like I said, because I'm getting ready to retire. I want to be able to, so if I'm in Europe or I want to go on a trip to Europe and I need some extra money, I can work really hard, get a lot of sales, get the money. And then even while I'm on vacation in Europe, if I decide, hey, I like it here, I want to stay another month. Well, heck, do I have the money? All I have to do is get on the phone, get on the internet. As long as you have internet access, you can make sales. The other thing is, if you're a good agent and people like you, they're going to want to call you. And you're going to want people to call you anyways. You don't want them just to say, I got another deal over here for this other health insurance. You want them to like you so they stay with you. So that's why you want to be available. Also, when I had this happen yesterday. The guy's considering coming to my insurance because he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, hey, you need a colonoscopy. He says, make sure you call your insurance and get within your network. So he called him up a week or two ago. He still hasn't heard from them. So now he's considering coming to us. And I told him, I said, if something like that happens to you, you call me. Don't call the 800 number. Call me. I'll help you find the doctor. If I can't find the answer, or in this case the doctor, then I will find the answer and point you in the right direction. So that's the customer service that I provide to make sure that I keep my customers. The lady I spoke to only wanted to get her health insurance license. That's up to her. I got my life insurance license and then decided to add my health insurance. That's what I suggest that anybody who's thinking about getting their license, go ahead and get both, because they kind of work together. You can sell life insurance to somebody and then also sell them health, and vice versa. And the advantage to having them with more products is they're more likely to stick with you. That's why when you call your cable company and they say, hey, we can offer you email, we can offer you internet, we can offer you phone service. The more services you have with them, the more likely you are to stay. Of course, and they make more money. Okay, so I think I've covered all that portion of it. And let me tell you what's required to get your license. Like I said, number one, the first thing you want to do is you want to study. The first course I used when I got my life insurance license was Excel, Xcel, xcel.com. You can go on and take their course. It's a lot of reading and watching some videos that covers some of it, but a lot of the material is still within the reading. If you can read and comprehend, that might be the best bet for you. And the reason for that is they charge about $130, I think it is. But if you go online and type in a life insurance license discount code for Excel, you'll find codes all over the internet from different companies that offer codes, because they'll tell you, okay, come to our company, you can use our code. Well, for whatever reason, they leave the code on the internet, so you don't have to come to their company. Anyways, you use their codes, and you can get Excel for as cheap as $40. I've seen it as $40. I paid, I think, the full 120. I didn't know about the codes. I found that out later, but I have seen it for $40. When I decided to add my health insurance license, I decided I want to go a different avenue. I wanted to have more in-depth material. And so I went with a company called America's Professor. He does a very good job on his videos. He gives you actual physical items to read, at the same time, it's available online, and he makes a video for each chapter that goes right along with the material. So if you wanted to, you can literally, and that's how I did it. The material that was written, sit in a closet. I watched his video and watched the material as he read through it. He gives you specific examples, and that helped me learn a lot better. And his course was $199, and I went ahead and paid for life and health again. So I had Excel that I used for life. Then I basically reviewed the life portion with the American Professor, and also learned the new material for health at the same time. But there were still some subjects I was a little wishy-washy on. So I started doing some searching, and I found in a Facebook page about a lady called Insurance Exam Queen. And I started watching some of her videos on YouTube. She puts a lot of material on YouTube. You don't have to pay for it, but I did. After I watched several of her videos, I thought, oh, this is great. This lady can help me pick up on those areas, increase my knowledge on those areas where I was having problems. Her course for both health and life with exams, and what does she call it? Exams and tests? Let me see real quick. Exams and it's her gold, what she calls the gold program. It's 100 days of access, and I think the American Professor, I think, was also 100 days. And the price, where's the price? Sign me up, I'm ready. $137. And you get her, what she calls the Gold Life and Health Plan with quizzes and exam bundle. I didn't do the exams and quizzes. I don't know I don't remember what the price was I paid, but it was around the same. So maybe she's added the exams and quizzes since I took it. And I really liked the way let me go back. The American Professor was really good. He went really in depth. He gave examples. He used his family as examples. He gave past experiences as examples. Really good. But again, I still had some areas where I was for me, it wasn't quite sure. I wasn't quite sure about a couple of things, and so just to make sure, I paid, like I said, the Insurance Exam Queen, and she is really good. She used to go around the nation for a company. I don't remember which company, training people in person, and now she does it online. And so if I was going to choose between the two of them, for most people, I would say that she's probably the better choice. It's a little less expensive, and she really gets into giving examples, drawing pictures for dummies like me. Anyways, I ended up passing my exam the first time. So if you are still interested after listening to me ramble on for almost 15 minutes, you're welcome to drop a comment and ask me questions, whether you decide to come with the company that I'm with, which is Benzie, or you decide to go on. Oh, I know something I didn't cover. I think I said this already, but let me cover it in case I didn't. If you were to go to State Farm, they may pay for your license, but they may also keep you captive and keep the license captive. So you want to get the license on your own. Now you can go to one of those agencies. You can go to Blue Cross and get their license or sell their insurance. But the prices that they charge for the customers is usually going to be higher than the prices that I can offer to customers. And the reason for that is simple. If you stop and think about it, it makes sense. They got a nice, pretty building. Somebody's got to pay for that. They advertise on the Super Bowl. They advertise on the sides of buses all over the country. Somebody's got to pay for that. And it's not going to be them. Now, they may write the check, but the money comes from the premiums that are paid monthly. The company that I work with selling health insurance, I'm what they call a broker. I sell health insurance for a couple of companies. I sell for, or any company that I want actually. But currently, the two I sell the most for are Manhattan Life, which you've probably never heard of, but the company is over 150 years old, and they have a health product. And then I also sell for Allstate, a company I'm sure most of you heard of. They also have a health product, but you probably didn't know that. The products that I sell are much less expensive than, say, your health insurance that you get from your employer in most cases, or the health insurance that you get on the ACA, the marketplace, the Obamacare plans. All of those plans I just mentioned are all considered major health insurance. What that means is whether you get somebody who's 20 years old and has never had a sickness except for maybe a cold and maybe some scrapes, maybe a broken bone, that's it. Or if you're that 35-year-old who's got cancer or has had cancer or maybe going to get cancer, or you're the 70-year-old who has fallen and broken a hip, all of those people, when you're working for working for a company and have group insurance, or if you're using the marketplace ACA or Obamacare, those are all the same. They all are considered major health plans, and so they have to cover all of those people. What that means is the healthy 20-year-old is paying or subsidizing by paying more than he would normally have to pay for that 70-year-old who broke his or her hip, and going back to the doctor multiple times, or the person who's getting chemo because they've got cancer. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't cover cancer. It doesn't mean that we don't cover that 70-year-old who broke a hip. Don't get me wrong. Just know that the rates are based on those things. And then when you're talking about the marketplace ones, they also take into account your income. So if you're making $30,000, you're going to get one rate because the government's going to subsidize you. If you're making $50,000 a year, you're going to get a different rate because you're making more money. You're going to have to pay more. The government's going to pay less. And you'll probably find that your insurance rates are going to go up, up, up each year. Even though Obamacare is supposed to bring rates down, it's actually driven rates up. Also, there's copays. With all the insurances I've mentioned, most of the time there's copays and deductibles involved. Sometimes deductibles as high as $10,000, $15,000. The plans that I offer have no copays, no deductibles, and they're not considered major medical plans. And the reason they're not is because, number one, we're not going to take the guy currently has cancer. But once you're on, if you get cancer, the plan covers that. We also have additional coverage if you think that you might want to cover it because you've had cancer in the past. So yeah, even if you've had cancer and it's gone, we can sign you up. But if you have ongoing treatments now for cancer, I'm sorry, but I can't sign you up. If you're a young woman and you're pregnant, I can't sign you up. If you're not pregnant, or if you've already had your child, I can sign you up as long as the child is at least 6 months old. And again, I think you understand why, though they have these conditions, they keep the rates lower, number one. And number two, if somebody's going through a pregnancy, you may know someone in your past, maybe you've experienced it yourself, where it was not a normal pregnancy and ended up costing thousands of dollars during the pregnancy, during the delivery. And so to prevent this, to protect themselves, the company doesn't take pre-existing conditions, and a pregnancy is considered a pre-existing condition. We also don't take people that are mentally ill. Again, it's a pre-existing condition. Now, once you are on the insurance, if you have a pre-existing condition, what's a good example? Like I said, cancer is not one because it wouldn't take you if you have active cancer. Oh, if you had cancer and it's cured. It's a remission. That would be a pre-existing condition. We can sign you up. There's a 12-month waiting period, and that's simply to make sure somebody doesn't discover they have cancer and then get insurance and then cause a huge bill. Same thing with pregnancy. Somebody isn't 6 months in their pregnancy, decides to get coverage, and then finds out, oh my goodness. Now, of course, if there's no medical diagnosis of a pregnancy, say maybe you're a month or two in and you didn't know, maybe you're still having your period, or maybe you just think you have other reasons to think it's something else. As long as it's not medically diagnosed, we can take you on. I think I covered why our prices are less expensive in most cases. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have major companies. For example, on the life side, I can sell you Mutual of Omaha. I can sell you SGLI. I can sell you AIG. I can even sell you marketplace plans. I can sell you Blue Cross, but why would you? When you can get the similar services for less expensive. Anyway, so if you've wasted your 20 minutes watching me and you've got questions, please drop a comment. I'll be glad to answer. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Have a great day. I hope no matter what you decide that you excel in whatever it is.